Wrestling fans from around the corner, around the world. I'm Dan Marotti.
I'm Tony, Mr. USA Atlas.
Before we get to some interesting news at hand, check out some great happenings from some of our dear friends. Are you part of a nonprofit organization, a youth group looking to raise cash for your cause? Stay tuned at the end of this video to learn how you can bring the action and excitement of the Millennium Wrestling Federation to your town live, featuring the superstars and legends of yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Have you ever thought about just how much time it takes to plan every detail of your wedding day? Many brides are now spending 10 to 15 hours each week planning the perfect day. It's like adding a part-time job to your already busy life. Not everyone can afford to hire a full-time wedding planner to help with every detail, which is why so many brides are now turning to a wedding day coordinator. That's right, a wedding day coordinator saves you money, and more importantly, it gives you the peace of mind that your special day will run smoothly. From finalizing all of the details you've worked so hard on to coordinating with vendors, KL Wedding Coordinators will be there every step of the way to guide you through the day and allow you to savor the memories that'll last a lifetime. For more information, visit facebook.com/KL Wedding Coordinators or give them a call, 603-320-2752.
Jacksonville on Monday, August 6th. The new era Monday Night Raw returns for the first time in 7 years with a double main event. Witness Roman Reigns, Braun Strowman, and Bobby Lashley collide with Jinder Mahal, Kevin Owens, and Sami Zayn in a massive six-man tag team match. Plus, Seth Rollins battles Elias for the Intercontinental Championship. It's WWE Raw live at Jacksonville Monday, August 6th. Tickets and ringside packages are available.
Wrestling fans around New England, WWE superstar The Boogeyman is coming to the Bullpen, 59 Hanover Street in Lebanon, New Hampshire, Sunday afternoon, August the 26th, for an interactive meet and greet, autographs, and pose photos. Visit thebullpennh.com to take advantage of this rare opportunity to meet the man from the bottomless pit. Lebanon, The Boogeyman is coming to get ya live.
They're ready to take their rightful place amongst the literary greats. Who, you ask?
The New Day!
That's who. It's the Book of Booty. Shake it, love it, never be it. It's the feel-good story of the rise of the New Day. Loaded with games, trivia, coloring pages, and so much more. The Book of Booty. Shake it, love it, never be it. Available now online or wherever books are sold.
Wrestling fans, welcome to a special installment of Wrestling Insiders. I'm Dan Marotti, along with my two-time Hall of Fame friend, Mr. USA Tony Atlas. Tony, a pleasure to have you here again.
Well, thank you, sir. It's always a pleasure to be here at Boston Wrestling. The best of the best, the beast of the East. SOS, simply out of sight. Often imitated, but never duplicated.
You're going to make Oscar jealous.
Who?
He does the rapping.
Who?
Oscar.
Oh, I can rap, man.
All right, well.
I'm the rapper from way back.
Tony, the feedback to the Memories and Legends episodes
Yes, I like
taped.
feet.
Oh, please.
Oh.
The feedback has been, I can't believe how great the feedback has been to these episodes. The fans from around the globe have been watching online, on YouTube, on BostonWrestling.com. They're enjoying your stories an awful lot. So
Yeah, it's like Animal House.
It's like, well, you should see some of what you got coming up in the future, fans. But our goal is to release new episodes every WWE pay-per-view weekend, as that's when fans are engaged with the product an awful lot. But we wanted to give fans somewhat of a sample. We wanted to talk a little current events. We're going to do a couple of them tonight, tomorrow night before SmackDown, and then next Monday as we kick off August, WWE's in Jacksonville, Florida, for Monday Night Raw. So we're going to have little snippets of information, some current events, some feedback we've received on the episode. Tonight, though, Tony, back in the spring, we did a great episode that Hulk Hogan enjoyed an awful lot, where we discussed him, his career, his scandal. And since that time, as you obviously know, the Hulkster has been re-engaged to WWE, so to speak.
Good.
He has been reinstated to the Hall of Fame,
Beautiful.
Something that Jimmy Snuka has not. And he was brought into the Extreme Rules pay-per-view in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and he made an apology to the locker room. And while the fans seem to be very happy the Hulkster is back, we did polls on our Twitter account at MWF Project X at different times. Almost 90% of the fans were happy that Hogan was back, and I think that says a lot. However, there was some turmoil in that locker room, Tony. There's some people that are not exactly thrilled. I'm going to read you some public comments on Twitter made by some stars, and then I want you to respond. How's that sound?
Okay, sound good.
All right, we're going to do the big video insert so I can put my glasses on. We got to hide that as we can. Tony, this came from Kofi Kingston, a man I think an awful lot about, representing a statement for all three members of New Day, Xavier Woods, Big E, and Kofi. We are writing this simply to provide an answer to the many that have bombarded us with questions on where we stand on the issue. We preface this statement by emphasizing that this is our own opinion and may not necessarily reflect the opinion of anyone else involved. How do we feel? Indifferent. We're not happy, sad, or resentful. Who WWE puts into the Hall of Fame is totally and completely up to the company, and from a career standpoint, there is no argument whether or not Hogan should have his place. We have no problem with his reinduction in the slightest degree. It is impossible to even begin to mention the history of the business without mentioning his name and accolades. On a personal level, when someone makes racist and hateful comments about any race or group of people, especially to the degree Hogan made of our people, we find it difficult to simply forget, regardless of how long ago it was or the situation in which these comments were made. But we also do not respond with more feelings of hate. Instead, we just do not associate with the people who convey or have conveyed this negative and hurtful mindset. This instance will be no different. Perhaps if we see him make a genuine effort to change, then maybe our opinions will change with him. Time will tell. That was from Kofi Kingston, representing all three members of New Day. And then from Titus O'Neil, there were rumors that he threw a big-time fit and refused to even shake Hogan's hand. Titus said, "As for the reinstatement of Mr. Bollea, I can only communicate that I am a proponent of second and even third chances for individuals that show true remorse, acknowledgement of wrongdoing, fulfill their punishment if applicable, and otherwise put forth sincere efforts to correct the issues. Unfortunately, I must echo the sentiment and extreme dissatisfaction expressed by many of my fellow contemporaries concerning Mr. Bollea's apology and its lack of true contrition, remorse, and a desire to change. Mr. Bollea's apology that he didn't know he was being recorded, quote unquote, is not remorse for the hateful and violent utterances he made, which reprised language that caused violence against blacks and minorities for centuries. I stand firm in my position that Mr. Bollea is entitled to his reinstatement. He was and is a role model, hero, and icon to countless people. I hope that Mr. Bollea's missteps in communicating to the WWE talent in Pittsburgh are not repeated to his fans, and I expect that he shall pursue an agenda that clearly communicates to all third parties that his language was inappropriate, wrong. It should not be tolerated, I should say, in a civilized and inclusive society." Your thoughts on New Day and Titus O'Neil's not so welcoming return to the Hulkster, a man you know quite well?
There is nobody in pro wrestling, including myself, that could criticize a man for one day of anger. If they don't like what Hogan said, they must hate rap music, because the word is all through every song. If you don't want to be called that, don't do it yourself. Don't judge people wrong when you do it yourself. Every time they look at from a group that call themselves a booty hole and making money.
Booty-O's.
Booty hole.
O's.
Booty hole.
It sounds like you're saying
It's a
hole.
big hole. That's what it is.
All right.
They come out and they wrestle as buttholes, pretty much.
I never took it that way.
Well, that's what it, I mean, come on now, it's booty holes. I mean, you know, they don't have the right to criticize someone like Hogan. They don't.
I think it was more along the lines of the apology that people
But it
didn't
don't
like.
matter.
All
The
right.
man, that's what's wrong with us. Man say he's sorry. There's a lot of people that have said a lot worse things than Hogan, and never and their apology is accepted. You see,
Like who?
well, nobody talked about it. I mean, I hear them guys use the word.
Who?
Okay, I hear Kofi and Keisha, them, they used to play them songs. I do ask Mark Henry, I used to get mad at them. They play that rap music where the N-word is all through it. I used to tell them in the dressing room that was wrong. They said, well, we're taking the power back. Well, if you're taking the power back, why are you mad at the first time a white person said it? The only time they raised hell about that word when a white person said it. But then they got the black guys singing songs and doing it. And you don't hear them complaining about them rappers. They just picking on Hogan because he's white. No other reason.
Wait, whoa.
They being racist.
You think New Day and Titus O'Neil are attacking Hogan because he's white?
Well, what other reason? They're not attacking these rappers for saying it.
Well, at the same time, the rappers aren't placed in their locker room to make an apology.
That's right. You don't see them making no apology for using the same word. So whenever you tell one race that I could say this, but you can't, who's the racist? I mean, that was the same thing as back in the day where they said, Tony, you, they tell Sweet Hansa and them guys, you could sit at this counter and eat, but Tony, because you black, you can't sit at the counter and eat. What happened to Hogan, in my opinion, it's just my opinion, they gave theirs, I'm gonna get mad. That's reverse racism. The only reason Hogan is in trouble because he's white, no other reason. If he was black, he could have hollered that word 1,000 times, wouldn't nobody say the word. But because he's white, he got to make an apology. Political correctness is for whites only. If Al Sharpton was white, they'd kick him out of the country. We got to stop that bull crap. Every time a white guy uses that word, he's a racist. Black guy use it, hey, he's cool. If the word is bad, nobody should be using it.
I agree with
Hogan,
that.
the only reason Hogan got in trouble is because Booker T used the word. How come he ain't talking about Booker T using it? Because Booker T's black.
Look at the Iron Sheik.
Yes. There's a lot of people that use that word over the years. Look at Richard Pryor use it all through his music. Chris Rock use it. You hear it all the time from black people. But as soon as a white person says, oh, he's racist, he hate blacks, we got to cut that crap out. It's kind of like the B word. Women, a man call a woman, the B word.
What's the B word?
I am not going to say it. Them women ain't going to beat me up.
Rhymes with which?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I didn't.
Now, women call each other that all the time, but you better not call them one. See,
well, I think there's a difference between that and what Hogan said.
Well, no, it's not. It's the same thing.
There's not.
It's the same thing. If the word is bad, the only reason. Now, imagine if Hogan was black and he said it. Would he been in trouble?
No.
That's my point.
Well, like I said, about 90% of the fan base was very excited that he was coming back on a poll that we did online.
Because he did nothing wrong.
Well, at the same time, he hurt people's feelings.
There's nobody feeling got hurt.
You don't think anybody? Well,
no,
obviously.
They'll attack Hogan because he's white, rich, and famous.
I'm talking about the feedback he got from his apology in Pittsburgh.
That's what I'm talking about. Because he's white, rich, and famous.
At least from their point of view, he seemed to lack remorse.
He got a lot of remorse. The man lost everything. He's a lot of remorse because he don't crawl on his belly like a snail and lick their frickin' boots. What they want him to do? He's a man. I mean, he got pride. He been on national TV. He been on the Inquiry. That ain't his first apology. They heard his apology
You're very
before.
correct. You're very correct.
They heard his apology before.
But it was his first apology in the auspices of a WWE event.
Who cares?
Well, obviously these guys do.
He went on national TV, on many programs, and apologized for saying the word, which, in my opinion, he should never have to apologize for nothing.
Well, in this day and age of social media, the African Americans on the roster in WWE, they were bombarded with requests and what fans wanted to know what they thought about it, and that's what Titus and Kofi and Xavier.
They don't have the right.
They have a right to an opinion.
No.
They don't have the right to an opinion.
Nope.
No.
Not when it comes to that. Not when you're doing the same thing.
I think there's a big difference between.
But when I was in the dressing room when they listened to music.
Now, who are you talking about?
Titus and all them. They listen to them rap songs. I'm telling you, I used to get on them all the time. Him and what the other guy, VIP, what was his name?
MVP.
Yeah, me and him, we was getting in arguments about that stuff.
They played music that
Yes. And then when the white guy is singing a song, just repeating the lyrics. Hey, don't be saying that. Brother, don't play the music. And you tell the guy he can't say nothing. See, to me, that's reverse discrimination. Anytime you tell a person they can't say something because of the color of their skin, Hogan can't use that word only because of the color of his skin. No other reason.
No one should use the word.
Amen.
No one should use
No
the word.
one.
I think it creates a double standard.
Exactly.
If you're going to listen to the
Now,
music that says it,
that's right.
I think you should be offended by that too.
So a white kid can listen to rap music, but he can't sing the lyrics. What kind of nonsense is that? That is stupidity. That is to divide America, divide people. Because how you think a white person going to feel, well, I like this song that made by 50 Cent or what, who's a rapper now, or Ludacris, but I can't say the words.
I don't understand why.
And about 70% of rap music is sold to white audience, and the word is all through it.
I don't think it should be used in any form of entertainment. Maybe
Right.
a scripted movie or something like
Right.
that if you're trying to
when
tell
I
a
see
story.
a black guy get in trouble for using it, that's when I say Hogan is wrong.
Okay.
But until I see a black guy get in trouble for using that word, I would say it reverse discrimination, that they discriminate against Hogan for using the word because he was white. If he was any other color but white, he would not have suffered any consequences. None. And
Let's call
that's the problem I have. My mother raised me to believe in our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. And my mother used to always say, what good for the goose is good for the gander. Whatever that means. You ever hear that before?
I've heard that term many
Whatever
times.
goose is good for the goose. So if a white person can't use that word without getting in trouble, a black person shouldn't use it either.
Well,
if the black don't get in trouble for it, that's just like what having two guys robbing a bank, one black and one white. And you go to court. The black guy get 20 years for robbing the bank. The white guy get 5 years. Is that fair? No. Why is the judge different? They both did the same thing. This one getting punished severely. This one is not. You got guys in wrestling that in other entertainment use the same word, but they black. They get in no trouble. The white guy said he get in trouble. Like I said, imagine just picturing your man, Al Sharpton being white.
Well, we're getting a little off topic with that.
I
Tony.
know.
We're talking about Titus O'Neil on Twitter.
Well, the same thing. Titus, that's what Titus should look at. I've seen black people talk about white people all the time. You know, Roseanne made a joke about black people. They kicked off on TV.
That was a nasty tweet.
Well, it don't matter.
Well, in this day and age, you can't talk like that, Tony.
Well,
whether you think it's right or wrong, society has become so sensitive to these things.
No, but that's
you
the
just
problem.
can't do it.
To me, that's the problem.
It's stupidity for anyone to engage in any form of public comments like that.
To me,
it's career
that's the
suicide.
problem. That's the problem, because if a person, I rode up and down the street with Captain Redneck Dick Murdoch.
A KKK member and former WWF Tag Team Champion.
But I didn't judge him on his belief, because I had my belief, he had his belief. I can't make you believe and think the way I believe and think. I can't do it. But I could be civil about it. I don't have to agree with the way you think. I don't have to agree with what you say. But I shouldn't crucify you because you don't have the same belief as I got. You, just like when they took the Confederate flag down in the down south, I didn't agree with that. Them people, they live there. They got a right to hold on to their heritage. That's their right. I may not like it. There might be some other people that don't like the fact of some kid walking around with a fist on his chest saying Black Power. But he got the right to do that, as long as it don't influence or hurt nobody. As long as I'm not attacking you or jumping on you or acting out on it, then you should have a right to express how you feel. Then if everybody is able to express themselves, see, people, everything is like a balloon. You keep putting air in that balloon. Well, sometimes you have to let that air out of that balloon in order for that balloon don't explode. Now what happens if you keep telling people you can't do this and you can't do that and keep pushing people, and when people feel like, they say, well, look, well, he's doing it. That's what started the civil rights movement in the first place. Blacks got tired of not being able to do the same as whites. Now, eventually, whites going to get tired of not being able to do the same as blacks. then you're going to have an explosion.
All right. Well,
So let people express themselves, and then you work with them and discuss it with them. Don't kick them to the curb and say, why you feel this way, brother? What can I do to make you feel better about my race, about me? Why you had these symptoms? That should open up the window for discussion instead of punishment and kick to the curb, because it's not going to go away. And the man say he's sorry, and them guys don't even want to accept his apology. What they should say, it took a lot of guts for him to do it. Ain't no black man on this planet have ever had to stand in front of and do as much apology as Hulk Hogan. Never. Not even OJ.
well, like I said, I
OJ
think
never say he was sorry.
I certainly think they're entitled to their opinion, whether
Right,
you
but
agree
they
with it or not.
but asking too much of him. He said he was sorry. What more can he do?
We didn't-
Sharing the shoes
to
for
be
him, would that make
fair-
him happy?
to be fair, we
if he
weren't
ran
in the-
around and go doo-dah, doo-dah, did that make him happy? They not accepting his apology. I mean,
what?
They didn't accept his apology, so it didn't do no good with them guys.
Well, let's call a spade a spade. Obviously, if he's
Oh,
in,
that's racist.
sorry,
See?
I'm sorry, everybody.
See?
Accept my apology
See
too.
what happened?
He's
Now I
obvious.
can say a spade is a spade,
He's
because
obvious.
I'm black.
He's
I
obviously.
can say anything. You white people, y'all can't talk no more. Shh, white people, shh. Black people say what you want to say.
He's obviously going to become a regular character again in WWE at some point.
Black people going to hate me.
The
ain't they?
35th WrestleMania is coming up in New York, where it
I'm
all
not going to be
began.
black no more. I'm going to change it in a
Well,
moment.
your last name is White, but that's a different story for a
I'm the
different
only
time.
legitimate white person in this whole building.
You're
legally.
the only real white we have
I'm
here
the
tonight
only
at the
real white
studio.
guy in the
Okay.
building. But no, I mean fair is
If
fair.
the feedback right now
Yep.
is, I don't know if I'd call it bad, but it's certainly tense. Do you think it's going to get worse if Hogan's around on a regular basis, almost rubbing salt in the wound?
Only if they make it into that. I mean, what they should do, they should just forget about it. It's sad. You can't change history. It's water under the bridge. The man was defending his daughter, and the maid, they ignored the main reason. They were going to try to turn his daughter into a booty call.
Not
He
a
did
booty
not
hole.
send her there for that. He sent his daughter there to enhance her music career. I would have called him a lot worse if they had messed with my daughter. Okay? They would have got a lot. They would have called a lot worse than what he said. He was angry, and all of us has said things out of anger that we regret later. But to get kicked out of them and the world embarrassment for one of the greatest, and all them guys is eating good because of Hogan.
Well, they're all
What they
working
should
hard
have said,
themselves
what
on the road right now.
Titus and them guys should have said, well, we accept his apology. He's a great asset to the business, and we're glad that Hogan saw the light.
What do you
Period.
think Hogan could do to make these people happy
Nothing.
that he's back?
Nothing.
There's nothing he can do.
Nothing.
All right. Well,
Because people love to kick you when you're down. Nothing.
all I can say is, there are people in here. Hogan, I worked with extensively.
He's a
twice.
great guy.
And I mean, I'm not talking about someone that went to a fan fest and shook his hand. I mean, long 10-hour days I worked with the man, and I
He's a
could
great
not
guy.
believe how genuine he was with
He's
the
a
fans
great
that
guy.
day. Now, granted, it's a wrestling business. Everyone's going to have their ways about doing business, but when it comes to being a genuine human being, he ranks right up there with anyone I've ever met in the business.
And he don't have a racist bone in his body. I've been known Hogan since 1978.
Right.
These guys here never traveled with him. They never been around him. They don't know him.
Do you think it would behoove WWE maybe to set up a private, a non-publicized session where he could sit down with some of the African-American superstars that don't exactly feel comfortable with him being
Why?
around?
He don't owe them nothing.
Fair enough.
He don't owe them nothing.
Fair enough.
They should sit down with him and thank him for him helping Vince to build a company where they could be as famous as they are and as great as they are because of the sweat and see, I saw what that man did. I was there when
You were
him
there.
and Vince McMahon, and if it wasn't for Vince knowledge and hard work, see, Vince don't sleep. And people don't know Hogan didn't eat. I checked into the hotel with Hogan one day, and I went to the gym. I came back to the room. I worked out. I went to the matches. I came back to the room. I went to sleep. The next morning, I got up at 4 o'clock to go catch a 6 a.m. flight, and Hogan was coming in to get his bag.
Wow.
Bed was never slept in.
Wow. Could have kept him Europe. He would have saved a couple
man,
bucks.
Hogan worked on 2 to 3 hours of sleep. He had to sleep on his way there. Very rarely did Hogan get a chance, and this went on for year after year after year. That man worked his butt off. Vince McMahon worked their butt off, and for anybody to take 1 day out of this man's life, 1 day, not even a whole day. If you listen to the whole tape is like 2 minutes. 2 minutes of his life. And they're going to destroy this man's whole life for what he said for 2 minutes.
It's like one sentence out of a
for
book.
one sentence out of all that stuff that he said, they nitpick this one thing that he said wrong. Oh my God, he used the N-word. And then they go right and get right in the deck gum car, put that deck gum tape in there and hear the word 1,000 times and say and feel nothing. But because he is white, he is not allowed to say that. No other
Like
reason.
I said, I just think the word should be eliminated from everybody, and then it would be a better place.
If it's bad for whites to use it, it should be bad for Spanish, bad for Orientals, bad for blacks, bad for Martians, bad for people
Martians,
from the
okay.
moon. Yeah, don't let the moon people be able to say it either. Because
We have some racist aliens that are going to come down.
Because they Martians, that don't mean that they
All
could
right,
do
well,
it.
you know what? They
That's
are
just my
supposedly
opinion.
green,
I
so-
just believe in equalness. I'm sorry that I'm probably offending a lot of people of color, but that's just the truth.
It's your opinion.
Yes,
And we're all entitled to our opinion.
if it's bad for one person, it should be bad for all people.
Right.
But I lived through a time when the shoe was on the other foot.
Well, we don't want to get into
That's
you
why
and the shoes.
I don't like it. No, I ain't going to talk about all that. But that's why
Please.
I don't like it, because I remember when the shoe was on my foot where I couldn't say and do things because of the color of my skin.
Fair
So
enough.
if I didn't like it being done to me, then I'm not going to like it be done to another race.
Well, you know, it's interesting for me to sit here. I can't look at it through their eyes. I can't look at it through your eyes. You know?
You're not supposed to.
Well, it's just right now it's a big topic of conversation.
Well,
and I like the guys that are involved. I like Hogan. Kofi's great. He was with us here in the MWF for a while. Just such a great guy overall. Xavier Woods, we were going to bring in at one point when he
They
was
don't have
down
the
in
right to
Atlanta.
judge Hogan, though.
Well, okay.
They don't.
I think
That
they
is
have a
my
right to an opinion. All right.
They don't have a right to judge him.
Fans, we want to know what you think. As always, send us some feedback here on a YouTube channel, over on Twitter, bostonwrestling.com. Get ready for Monday Night Raw. It's a big summer,
Equal.
Tony. We're headed towards SummerSlam weekend.
Right, brother?
We have
Everybody should be treated equal.
not William Moy doesn't treat anyone equally, especially Tyrone.
William, my
but that's a
man, he
different
looked just
story
like
for a
Tony
different
Atlas.
time. You should see his girlfriend Eunice. Big fan of yours, Eunice Torres.
But he got to buy her a picture.
Well, we'll talk about her off the. For Tony Atlas, I'm Dan Marotti. SummerSlam weekend, not one, 2 big episodes, Tony. We have Dr. David Reese here trying to diagnose the psyche of Tony Atlas.
Yeah.
Then we have a great episode looking back at 3 great champions from WWE history, Bruno Sammartino, superstar Billy Graham, and I almost forgot the third guy, Bob Backlund. It's going to be a lot of fun. Hopefully we continue to have you here more and continue to check in.
Yep. And don't y'all fans out there hate me for what I say. I just believe that what is good
Don't
for the
hate
goose.
anybody. How about
what
that?
Is good, don't hate anybody.
Don't
What is
hate
good for the
anybody.
goose is good for the gander.
That's right.
If it's illegal for him, one person to use it, it should be bad for any person to use it. I don't like it when nobody uses it. I don't care if you're white, black, blue, or green. I don't like the word. I lived through it. I don't like the word. It get used, but I don't think that one person should get punished simply for the color of their skin. Because to me, where's the difference?
Tony, we're going to be back tomorrow night with another news episode. We're going to discuss, boy, are we going to discuss it, Tony.
I don't know.
In depth. We got to roll with the punches here. We're going to talk about the WWE Evolution pay-per-view coming October the 28th. It's going to be an interesting night. For this guy, the Hoffer, 2 times over, I'm Dan Marotti. See you tomorrow night. Be well. I'm Dan Marotti.
And I'm John Cena Sr.
Let us tell you how the action and excitement of the Millennium Wrestling Federation can help raise cash for your nonprofit cause. Experience the action and excitement of the Millennium Wrestling Federation live in your city, throughout New England, the tri-state area, down through the Carolinas, out to our friends in the Midwest and beyond.
If your nonprofit organization is looking for an interactive turnkey experience while putting the fun into fundraising, you've met the perfect tag team partner to work with. every step of the way.
The MWF offers a variety of packages for groups of almost any size, from our live events at the Boston Garden, the Kowloon Entertainment Dining Complex, and the legendary Suffolk Downs, to high school gyms and function halls. We've presented live events everywhere and anywhere.
Since 2001, the MWF's mission has been simple: keep the kids off the streets. Under the leadership of President David Reese, we bring the superstars of yesterday, today, and tomorrow to your town. Not for a wrestling show, but an event that features action-packed in-ring wrestling, autograph, pose photo opportunities, Q&A sessions, and so much more. It's the best of sports and entertainment. The week of your event, we can add on to the endeavor with anti-bullying campaigns, library meet and greet reads, youth sport concussion seminars, and more.
Our live events are fit for fans of any age from 5 to 95. This fall, as part of our new Kids Club program, we offer live event experiences exclusively for the youngest of fans. On the flip side, we can produce a tailor-made event for fans of an older demographic as well. We work with you every step of the way to get the word out to fans near and far on our local television offerings and to over 50,000 fans and growing on our social media platforms.
Your success is our success. If your group has had enough of candy bar and wrapping paper sales and has the energy to team with our passionate fan base, bringing the NWF experience to your community is the answer to put smiles on faces while raising cash for your cause.
Contact us today to get the ball rolling for your custom-made event that you'll want to bring back year after year to your community.
Don't just take it from us. Here are the folks we've teamed up with in the past: